The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. When Jesus heard of the death of John Baptist, he withdrew in the boat to the deserted place by himself. The crowds heard of this and followed him on the foot of their thoughts. When he did disembark and saw the vast crowd, his heart was moved with a pity for them, and he cured their sick. When it was evening, the disciples approached him and said, "This is the deserted place, and it is already late. Dismiss the crowds so that they can go to the villages and buy food for themselves." Jesus said to them, "There is no need for them to go away. Give them some food yourselves." But they said to him, "5 loaves and 2 fish are all we have here." Then he said, "Bring them here to me." And he ordered the crowds to sit down on the grass. Taking the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, and looking up to heaven, he said the blessing, broke the loaf, and gave them to the disciples, who in turn gave them to the crowds. They all ate and were satisfied, and they picked up the fragments left over, 12 wicker baskets full. Those who ate were about 5,000 men, not counting women and children. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. His heart moves with pity. When was the last time you felt moved with pity? You felt like compassionate. You felt like my heart is beating because I saw something terrible happening or something that I need to involve. And how can we even go to that point or that level of compassion? Maybe one thing that we don't see in the gospel today, Jesus withdrew to the desert after he heard that his cousin John was murdered, if you will. It's a terrible news. And that's why he went to the desert and needs some quiet time. That quiet time gives him more insights, more calm, more peace, and maybe a proper response. We're so privileged to come here. And I have to say this, I don't want to preach to you because you're so good already. If you could come here, I'll give you A+ and with bonus. I'm serious. A lot of people right now, they're afraid of coronavirus. They're afraid to come out, and I don't blame them. But many people right now don't want to. Don't even call out to God. Don't even think that God can do anything. That is a pandemic. The pandemic is we don't even need God, or we don't even think that God can do anything. That is a pandemic. And not just the elderly or the older or the sick, the young people, the professional. And so today the first reading says, "Come to me if you hunger, if you thirst. Everything is free." And Jesus, out of that sadness, if you will, he couldn't stay there by himself because so many people hungry. thirsty, need help, need food, need medicine, need cure. That's why he had to go out there and meet people. But there is something for us today, my brothers and sisters. I know you are so good already, but I would like to ask you, if you're one of the disciples today of Jesus, that you bring, maybe some of us maybe doesn't bring a lot. Some of us will bring 5 loaves and 2 fish. And we have a whole crowd waiting for us to be fed. And Jesus said, you feed them yourself. Say, are you kidding me? I have only enough for myself and for my family and for us. We can't share. But miracle happens when we share. Miracle happens when we look out to the need of the people. Miracle happens when we feel compassionate toward one another. So I'm asking you and see, as a Christian, as a follower of Christ, as a Catholic coming to church every week, every day, how are you living your Christian faith? Is that successful, fruitful? Because we are asked to share. But before even we share, remember the 3 words before that. He takes the loaf, bless it, then break them, and then share. I believe that we receive so much. God gives us family. God gives us health. God gives us children. God gives us profession. God gives us friends, faith. How do we do with that? Did we bless them? Or did we punish them? Did we welcome them and say, come to mama, come to daddy, come here, let me bless you, let me kiss you, let me whisper in your ears that I love you. Sometimes we forgot that those people around us need to hear that. And then we have to be broken, my brothers and sisters. After 50, 60, 70 years and we still look good like when you're 20. That's not good. We have to be broken. Sometimes we need to be looking like old, wrinkled, gray hair, blessing you if you are. Because that is a sign of brokenness, a sign of being blessed, a sign of being received by God. And then we're talking about sharing. And I believe that when we share, we multiply. I am amazed all the time as a priest, as a single man, how in the world can you take care of 1 kid, and then 2 kids, and then 5 kids, and you still the same, you still look even better than before. And then you take care of your grandchildren. You multiply so many loaves every day. Maybe you don't know that. But because of the grace of God, God continues to bless us. I shared with the Word Made Flesh the other day on Thursday, how in the world we keep drawing oil underneath the earth so many years to feed so many cars in the world. It's a miracle. Of course, we need to protect the earth, but God continued to bless us so many ways. Today, we celebrate that St. Alphonsus. Alphonsus is the doctor of the church, also doctor of souls. He wrote over 100 books. But you know what? If we have to summarize, if we interview St. Alphonsus, what is the most important for him? It's not about all the great theories, philosophy, or theology. It's about come to God. Come to God because God's waiting. God is inside of us. Ask and the door will be open. Ask and you will be received. He said that without prayer, no salvation. prayer and salvation are one. So we are coming here to pray for ourselves, but also pray for our brothers and sisters, that hopefully at the end of our lives, there is no division among us. There is no division between us and God. Like St. Paul said, nothing can separate us from the love of God. And we could say to one another, nothing can separate me from you. And so just close your eyes and maybe remind yourself or recollect yourself who in your life right now that you need to whisper. Say, come to me. My heart is open for you. I'm ready to forgive you. I'm ready to comfort you. I know a lot of times fears kick in, doubt somehow rise up in our hearts and our minds. But trust that with the grace of God, we'll be okay and we are blessed. And so allow this Mass for God to take you in, bless you again, break you into small pieces so that God can share your life, your talents, your times, everything